Hey guys, Brad Danger here. Ow! And squint a little, tilt your rear view mirror because this is the full breakdown on why headlights are absolutely getting brighter. You are not crazy. I've been screaming this for years, and it's not just jerks with high beams. This is actually crazy. Because if you've ever driven at night recently and thought, am I aging at an accelerated rate? Well, congratulations, you're not alone and you're not losing it, you guys. Headlights, they are getting brighter, objectively, aggressively, violently, and not in a fun, wow, I can see a deer 3 zip codes away kind of way. In a, why does a RAV4 behind me look like it's interrogating me under stadium lighting kind of way? Yeah, this question pops up all the time with my friends. Are headlights getting brighter? And the short answer, it's yes. The long answer is yes, and we messed it up badly because this isn't one problem. It's about 6 problems stacked on top of each other wearing a lifted truck and Amazon LEDs. And let's start with the big one. LEDs. Yes, LEDs. Headlights change everything. Halogen bulbs were warm, yellowish, and kind of trash, to be honest. They didn't throw light very far, but they were forgiving. When you saw halogens coming towards you, your eyes, they could handle it. LEDs are totally different beast. They're whiter, they're harsher, and they have a sharper cutoff. And your eyes perceive white and blue white light as brighter, even when the actual measured output isn't wildly higher. So even when an LED headlight is within spec, your brain screams, "This is the sun!" And manufacturers know this. Why? Because headlight performance is now a safety rating metric. To get a top safety score, you need to illuminate more road further ahead more consistently. That means pushing right up to and often riding the legal maximum brightness allowed by regulation. They aren't making a headlight brighter because they hate you. They're making them brighter because the IIHS scorecard rewards it. Yeah, remember first grade? Exactly. And when everyone races to the limit, guess what happens? The limit becomes unbearable. And guys, real quick, Rocky from New York already drove off with the first GTR and the bonus cash that changed his life. We literally flew him out here. He hung out with us for the whole weekend. We shipped his car back home to New York, and the dude had the time of his life. It genuinely changed everything for him. And now it's your turn. If you want a shot at winning your dream car plus bonus cash, hit the link in the pinned first comment right now. Now, back to the show. Now let's stack number 2 right on top of those LEDs. Cars now are taller. They're way taller. Crossovers, SUVs, trucks, lifted trucks, emotionally lifted trucks. Even stock vehicles now sit higher than sedans did 10 or 15 years ago. That means headlights are physically mounted higher off of the ground. So even if your high beam is aimed correctly, the cutoff line is already closer to your eye level if you're in a car. If you're in a Miata, and it isn't always the answer when there's a lifted emotional truck behind you, you're basically eye to eye with Tahoe's low beams. That's why so many people say it's fine when I'm driving an SUV, but in my car, it's absolutely brutal. Does that resonate? Yeah, because it is. Physics don't care about your feelings or your retina. Now, add in problem number 3, aftermarket LEDs. This is where the situation goes from annoying to unhinged. People buy LED bulbs on Amazon and Alibaba all of the time. Have you seen the prices? It's like $2 for a new bulb. It's cheaper than halogens. And they pop them into reflector housings designed for halogens. They do not adjust aim. They do not check cutoff. They don't care. Reflector housings scatter light. Projector housings control light. Put LEDs in the wrong housings and the beam becomes full chaos mode. Light goes literally everywhere except where it's supposed to, where the sun don't shine, you know what I'm saying? Now, the worst part, these people often brag about it. You have that friend. You see the posts. I just installed LEDs. Visibility is insane. Yeah, for you. Everyone else just got flashbanged. Now, problem 4, aiming. Headlight aim is basic maintenance, and almost no one ever does it. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever aimed your headlights? Oh, you in the back have? Well, all the other people in the room, they say no. Factory aim is often off. Dealers, they don't check it. Suspension changes mess it up. Loads in the truck mess it up. Lifts destroy it. Even a fraction of a degree off, literally tenths of a degree, can move the beam from pavement to eyeballs. And modern headlights are so intense that even small misalignments become a major problem. This is why you'll sometimes see a car that's totally fine on flat ground until you hit a hill. Then suddenly the beam jumps up and it feels like you're being interrogated by the Department of Transportation. Now, problem number 5. Automatic headlights and always lit dashboards. This one is very sneaky. Older cars had dark gauges when the headlights were off. That was your cue. New cars, everything is lit all the time, just like your aunt on Christmas. Infotainment screens, digital clusters, ambient lighting, so people think their lights are on when they're actually not, which leads to 2 equally dangerous scenarios. 1, people driving at night with only daytime running lights, no taillights, barely any forward lighting. 2, people accidentally driving with high beams on because, well, they can't tell. Yeah, there is a blue indicator light. No, not everyone notices it. And yes, some people are just absolute jerks, kind of like me, but a shocking number genuinely don't know. Now, let's talk about the thing America messed up the hardest. Regulations. The US lighting regulations are absolutely ancient. For years, adaptive anti-dazzle headlights, the kind that shape the beam around the other car, were illegal here. Europe has had them forever. Those systems let you run high beams constantly while automatically carving out dark zones around other vehicles. They solve almost all of this, but the US stuck with outdated rules that didn't allow dynamic beam shaping. So instead of smarter lights, we've got brighter, dumb ones. That's changing slowly now, but the damage, well, it's already done. And then there's fog lights. Yes, fog lights are barely regulated in the US. They often produce massive glare for very little benefit, especially when used incorrectly, which is constantly. Fog lights are meant for, can you believe this? Fog, low, wide, selective, not on all the time because they look cool. On wet roads, fog lights amplify glare like crazy. It's like driving inside a mirror. Rear fog lights are even worse. Insanely bright red lights mean for zero visibility conditions that people leave on in clear weather. Europe bans that behavior. The US, well, it's just a vibe. Now stack all of this together into one big sandwich. Brighter LEDs, higher vehicles, poor aiming, bad aftermarket mods, outdated regulations, drivers who don't give a... That's how we ended up here. A world where you flip your rearview mirror every single time that you drive, you block your side mirrors with your hand, you slow down because you literally can't see, you hesitate to flash someone because if you're wrong, they're gonna unleash the actual high beams and vaporize your soul, if you know what I mean. Yes, and that is the wild part. This is supposed to make driving safer, and it's not. And honestly, here is the uncomfortable truth that I uncovered. Headlights are better than ever for the driver actually using them, and worse than ever for everyone else. It's safety optimized in isolation, not as a system. And that's why so many people say, I see worse at night now than I used to, because glare reduces contrast. It destroys night vision. And once your eyes get blasted, it takes seconds to recover. Seconds where you are effectively blind. That's not progress. So what actually fixes this? Well, not banning LEDs and not going back to halogens and not yelling at each other in traffic. The real fix? Well, it's kind of boring. Mandatory auto leveling headlights, smarter adaptive systems, better enforcement of aiming standards, cracking down on illegal aftermarket lighting, and quite honestly, automakers actually caring just a little bit more about people outside the car, because the technology, it already exists. We just didn't deploy it responsibly. So if you're wondering, did you just age while you drove down the road? Maybe. Yeah, you probably did, but not as much as you actually think, not in dog years. So headlights are becoming a huge problem. They already are a problem. Do you have misaligned headlights, or do you have a headlight story where you just got punched in the face with some LED HIDs, high beams, and you were just like, I can't see anything? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll be hanging out down there. And remember to go to winthisIdealCar.com to get entered to win your dream car plus cash that I'm giving away. Also, if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and check out some of these Ideal vids over here. I'm Brad Danger. I love you guys. This is Ideal. We'll catch you next week, and promise me one thing. Keep living the ideal lifestyle. Can't believe I didn't drop that.